We are live. Hey, everybody.
Hello, hello. Let's give it a minute. Let me refresh my YouTube so I can see the stream as well. How are we doing? Hi, everybody. Hi, Matt, Irene, Deborah, Karen. Hello, hello, hello. You can see the Matt's. The sky was purple too. What a twist! Or if it's not going to be that, but yes, we are here today, myself and Catherine, to reveal the next leg of the Destination Unknown journey, which is the first twist. So there's going to be two. So we'll kick you off with one this week, and then next week hit you with another little curveball. But let me know. Can we get a quick shout out from everybody in the audience? How's it going so far? I can see Patty mentioning it's going. So going is good. That's what we want. Don't expect certainly by this point in the challenge that you have like a full finished edited perfect little short story all done, but at least I hope you're kind of feeling your way around some ideas, getting into a bit of a flow off of that that opening line that we gave last week. Irene mentioning there 951 words so far, waiting for this bit. Excellent. So yeah, get into it, get into the flow, and be ready to you know dive and weave a little bit. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. I can see Catherine just bringing up on the screen now. If you're joining us for this stream and you haven't actually registered for the challenge, it's not too late. We still have a few weeks left. So if you want to join up, there's the link. It's autocrit.com/destination unknown. The challenge is completely free. It's all for fun, and we'll have some prizes and things at the end. We're just hoping that you get a new short story out of it. Did we want to do a bit of a recap on it all, Catherine, before we get to the twist?
Absolutely. Let me pull the ones up so we can get everybody caught up to speed.
You see here a few comments. I started an idea of doing one Word document as a short and one as a full novel. Love it. Yep, that's always the thing because, like a great idea is something that really attaches itself to you, and I guess over time gradually reveals itself more to you. If that doesn't sound too wishy washy, can be a great short and a great novel. Single ideas can grow and shrink and become something. Maybe there's an overarching idea that comes out of it that's just too big for a short, but there's still a little point that you want to make with your story that can fit in a short format. Do that. Yeah, capitalize, get the most, squeeze all the juice that you can out of the idea as a writer. I think there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. See other people outlined and character devved up. Bring it on. Lovely. Futzly fun. Words have happened. 1,000 words in. Can't wait to start over completely. Oh, we will see about that, Queen Bee. So, challenge goals. I was talking a little there a moment ago about what Destination Unknown is. Really, we just want you to come out the other end of this with a new short story. Get something written that you can put your name on, take it out there to the market, try to sell it, get it published, and then there's a little bit of work under your belt and something to help get more recognition for you. They say, don't start. Sorry, don't start. Don't wait. Start today. Twists will come weekly. We have 2 twists today, and then we will have another one next week. And you are expected to adapt your story to those as you go. That's part of the exercise of the challenge, is seeing how well and how adaptable as a writer you are. Can you pivot when you need to? The twists come like this. So part 1, opening line. Part 2, we will introduce a twist. Part 3, we'll give you a closer. And then in the end, you can submit your story if you wish. You don't have to, but you can, to us to judge, and we'll have a selection of winners and kind of crown the crown jewel, or the winner, the big winner at the very end for some prizes. What those are all going to be, we will leave you in some suspense over, because that all comes towards the end. Don't focus on it right now. Focus more on getting your story done. Technical guidelines. Yes, word count of 2,000 to 4,000 words. I like 2,000 as a small, so you're not just writing a quick piece of flash. 4,000 as the upper limit, just so it doesn't get too long. I would tend to find that the kind of the market or the commercial sweet spot for short stories tends to be around 3,500. That hasn't changed much in the past few years, to be honest. So we recommend around there, but you can push it up to 4K if you want. If you want to submit your story in the end for prize, that 4K is a hard limit. We don't want anything longer than that. Same kind of thing you would find, if you're submitting a story to a publication and they say, maximum word count of 4,000, and without clearing it with them first, you submit something that's like 5,200, you're immediately discounted. Just write it off because it's not within the guidelines. That's a big thing that you have to work with as a professional. So we try to keep that here, put a little bit of professional stipulation on you. Any genres are welcome. This is your story, so it can be, like me, it can be horror, it can be sci-fi, it can be a suspense thriller, it can be romance, it can be a slice of life, whatever you want. This is your story. Please no extreme material, as we stipulated last week. I think the best way to say that is if you think it's maybe too extreme for most readers, then it probably is. Use your kind of own sensibilities there. But we are, quite a diverse team in terms of interests and what people are into, but everybody's a reader. So good stories at the end of the day are what seal the deal. Your opening and closing line, we are going to give you a closing line towards the end. And these two lines, I saw a question there about what was the opening line. We'll get to that. I will remind everybody in a moment. But these opening lines can be presented as dialogue if you want to, because oftentimes that helps with sort of working in POV and stuff like that, whatever way you're going to write the story. So if you want to present them as a line of dialogue rather than just straight narration, then you are more than welcome to do so. And currently, don't worry about the formatting of the story. We get a lot of questions when it comes to, if I'm going to submit it, what's the format going to need to be like and all of that. Don't worry about it, because in the end, if you do want to submit, you'll be doing that through the actual AutoCrit platform. You'll log into the software and you can literally just send the story over to us from inside. We've built that to be quite simple. So that will do all the formatting for you, or we will pull it out the other end, kind of formatted the way we like. So don't worry about that right now. We'll talk a bit more about it when it comes to submissions, but not right now. And the opening line, that was it. So I'm just jumping between our kind of live stream and then the YouTube, which has a little bit of a delay on it so I can catch the comments. The opening line, to reiterate to everybody, is nobody told me the rain would be purple. Matt, is UK spelling okay? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you're more comfortable with kind of UK spelling and UK quotations as well. I know things are a little different these days, but sometimes with UK it's like single quotes for speech and things. If you want to do it in full UK style, yeah, absolutely no problem at all. Nobody told me the rain would be purple. And again, this can be an opening line of dialogue. You can have a character saying this, or it can be just straight up narration, opening line of the story. But this must be the opening line of your story verbatim. It's like the Irish accent audiobook calls purple. I can't even do a proper Southern Irish accent. I'll just make a joke of myself trying to do that. Nobody told me the rain would be purple. So are we all caught up? Let's just see.
We are all caught up.
And just to mention that again, if you are kind of looking at this at the moment and going, well, that sounds interesting, but I haven't gotten involved, head on over to that web address, autocrit.com/destination-unknown, and join us for the remaining weeks. There's still plenty of time to kick off a short story, get it rolling, and you'll have a little bit of advantage if you started today because you'll know the first twist already, so you can prepare for that. So it's a sneaky way to do it, but you can do it nonetheless.
All right. Are we ready for our twist of the day?
I think we are. Let's not keep everybody in too much suspense. They're going to need time to go and clean things up a little or start moving things around. Yes, twist number one. We're going to call this the identity crisis. So this is a content twist, and then we're going to just to set you up for next week. We're going to have a bit of a form twist coming next week, but for this one is a content twist, and this twist is a stipulation to which you will have to abide, and that is no character can be referred to by their name or even a name, frankly. Find other ways to identify who's who throughout your story. When we say that people cannot be identified by name, that also means essentially you're not allowed to refer to them as a proper noun, because you might think an easy way to get around this. Oh well, I'll just use call signs. Like Top Gun, there'll be Maverick and whoever else there was in Top Gun, or give them all like sci-fi military call signs and that kind of thing. Or Another way that you can kind of work your way around this is that you could have thought, oh, the first thing that my character knows is that this person has, red hair. So they meet them, and it's like this person is the red haired person. So they start referring to them as redhead, capital R, redhead, proper noun. Well, no, they've then given them a name. So you are not allowed to do that. Do not refer to anybody by a name or anything kind of attributed to them that would set them apart as a name. Quick question there I can see from Audiobook Accomplice. Can we refer to them as their occupations? Now, you could, as long as you are referring to them simply as, somebody who's presenting themselves as a doctor, let's say, and you're saying the doctor, the doctor swings around to the left, and et cetera, to kind of get the movement of that person moving around. However, you would not, work to turn that into a name by capital D doctor. Like, I'm going to call that person doctor as though I don't know their name, but I'm going to give them the name doctor. Does that make sense? I hope so. You would not get away with that because that's a little bit sneaky and just a bit too easy, to be honest.
The simplest way to think of it is if you are turning it into a proper noun, it's not going to fly. It needs to be a description.
And this does imply the full story. Yeah, it's entirely across the board. So no, not in dialogue, not in description, nowhere are you going to have anybody referred to by a name or like kind of a title assigned to them.
There's a good example in Hunger Games. One of the tributes in the first book, they call her Foxface because she's cunning and she has red hair and everything throughout the book. That is an example of repeating using this descriptor as a proper name, and they even capitalize it. So if you turn it into a proper noun like that, it's not going to fly for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that's a great example, in fact. Liz, annoying but manageable. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Don't want to make it too hard, but it's certainly designed to be a bit annoying. Um, JA mentioning there, yeah, if you have three characters, no one is named. Correct. That's kind of part of the challenge. Is like, how do I, as a writer, like keep this legible, without using the names or assigning specific nouns to people. You've got to find ways to have the flow of the narration actually translate right to me, as the reader. There was the question on point of view there. Yes, first person POV is fine. Kayla mentioned there, like the man and the women. Yeah, you could do that, for example. I think going along the same kind of lines of what Catherine just mentioned from Hunger Games is you could refer, or your narrator could refer to the man in the grey hat, like doing things. The man in the grey hat looks at me. But you wouldn't then call him Grey Hat and like give him, have your narrator give him a name, Grey Hat, because that then becomes shorthand through the proper noun, which is essentially just giving them a name. Grey Hat turns to look at me. Now you've given him a name. That's against the rule. So you have to find. But also, this one of these things with good storytelling is that you could not. Yeah, Liz, no nicknames. You could not. Get away with over and over and over again saying the man in the grey hat does this, the man in the grey hat does, because that's going to become very repetitious and again pull me out of the story, give me some problems with reading it, and that's a big problem that you have to avoid as a writer too. So this is part of the challenge. Gonna have to work out how you can keep it varied and interesting, but still not falling into names, nicknames, etc. And Jay mentioned there, does the story require anyone to have the characters given a name somehow but not referred to by it? Not really. No, no. You could use titles like the detective, correct? But you're not going to, it's uh, use that over and over again because you risk. I think the more that you use something like that, or say the detective does this, you risk falling into capital D detective. It's become a name. And Matt, has this been done before? No, first time we have used this one, which is why it's fun. Let's see how it turns out. All right, Catherine, anything to add from your side?
No, I think that's great.
Okay, how are we feeling? I'm not saying as much despair as we tend to see with some of the twists that we pull in on this one. So that's maybe a good sign. Maybe it's not. Well, maybe it's not brutal enough. I have to think of something even more nefarious next time. But for sure, if you anybody here, if you have any more questions on it or you need to reach out, just do so. Drop us a message on the website. Just pop over to autocrit.com and there's a little chat bubble in the bottom corner. Our team is sitting there like Catherine and Sean, and they will be happy to answer any questions. Or if there's anything they need an answer for from me, they just send me a message. It's like, what do we say here? And I can fill you in. So enjoy. Matt just smashed up his keyboard. Hopefully not with your forehead. You have to go and get a new keyboard and a new forehead. There's a story for you. So yeah. Good luck, everybody. Crack on, and we will see you back again. And this one thing I say next week is going to be a little simpler. Because I'm going to make the second twist a form, like a written form twist, which is something that you can usually kind of fix in editing. It's like, yeah, it's going to be still going to be something that you'll have to work around, but it's going to be from a different kind of angle. So from this point, if you have a great idea that you're into, like, get into it. We're not going to make you really go too crazy next week with the actual content of the story. So try to find your vibe now, get back on track, keep writing, and we will see you next Tuesday, I believe.
Yep. Go get those words, everybody. Bye.
Good luck.